was pondering and praying over the first reading today. Who knows what type of relationship Abram had with Almighty God up to this point, but it couldn't have just, I can't imagine that God would have just appeared to him and said, go. He must have been cultivating this relationship with Almighty God his whole life, growing in knowledge of him, growing in trust, so that when God says to Abram, go to a land that I will show you. I've been living here my whole life. 75 years old. Now some of you might be thinking, I'm past what God has planned for my life. We did what we needed to do. Well, you know, God might call us to do something even in the end of our lives, even after we're 75. And what does Abram do? He goes. And he goes without having any home. Who knows how he was living in Haran? The guess is he probably had established himself pretty well, had flocks and all sorts of things, probably was a very rich man, and now he has to leave his home. And when you read through Genesis, he goes from place to place to place. He sets up a tent, but then he moves to another place, sets up a tent, he might build an altar here, or put up a pillar there, or doing this and that and the other thing. The next chapter, which I think we're probably going to skip over, he then goes to Egypt. So he doesn't even stay in the land that God is promising. Goes back and forth into all these places. But he trusts. His faith that God will be faithful to his promise. And even he says, to your descendants I will give this land. He doesn't say I'll give it to you. He says, to your descendants. And Abram walks in faith. And this speaks to my life in saying, okay, when God asks me to go, do I want to see exactly what's going to happen? Do I want to see the results? Do I say, well, yes, God, I'll do this as long as you make sure that I'm comfortable when I do this? That's not the story of our faith. Not at all, but rather reaching out even beyond ourselves. God says, I have something for you, and it will be really, really good. But I need you to trust me now, even though you can't see. When you do not see the end result, when you can't see what it is that I'm asking of you, I invite you to trust me and to go.